Welcome to More Than a Spouse, a storytelling series from the National Military Family Association that celebrates the strength, purpose, and individuality of military spouses everywhere. In every conversation, we explore what it means to build a life of your own while navigating the unique realities of military life, the challenges, the growth, and the moments that shape who we are. Chelsea, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so thrilled to have you here and to introduce you to the National Military Family Association audience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get started by having you tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. I was born and raised in Michigan on a farm, so I did all of the typical farm kid things. I did 4-H, I competed in horse shows, and even did the get up at 4 a.m. to feed the cows and the chickens before you head off to school. And I think that really just shaped me from the beginning. I always knew that I wanted to have purpose when it came to everything I did related to my education and my career. Having that work ethic at such a young age really pushed me to every decision I've made for the rest of my adult life.
How did that work ethic translate into your higher education journey? Tell me a little bit about that.
My family always valued education. My parents worked incredibly hard to make sure that I was able to achieve whatever I had set my mind to. And so I knew going and getting my bachelor's degree was, of course, the number one priority. So all through high school, I made sure that I was able to get into the school that I wanted and was able to graduate even a semester early during undergrad. And then after that, I really settled into continuing my education. I went and got my master's in curriculum and instruction. And now doing what I do now, I've had amazing opportunities to grow even further in the career coaching space. I now have 4 different certifications in career coaching and providing those resources and that expertise to the clients that I serve.
That is so incredible. Can you tell me a little bit about what career coaching looks like for some of our audience members who might not be familiar with what that means?
Yeah, I'm a transition specialist for a veteran nonprofit called Hire Heroes USA. I write my clients' resumes. I also provide career coaching to them, really helping them navigate their job search journey, helping them find meaningful employment through giving them resources and preparing them for interviews or reviewing their LinkedIn, teaching them how to tailor their resume. All of this really kind of wrapped up into one package that is me and what I do. And so I feel like I get to really see my clients from the very beginning all the way through when they call me and tell me that they accepted a job offer and they start in 2 weeks. I get to see their entire journey, and it is the most rewarding thing I can think of.
That is an incredible role to have, and I know you are just so talented at it. Would you mind sharing some of your accomplishments that you have garnered along the way? And I'm specifically thinking of a lot of the hires that you have supported throughout your time.
Yeah, I absolutely love what I do. I always say I have the best job in the world. I get to help people for free and help them find that meaningful employment and what the next steps are for them. And so I just recently hit a milestone of 750 confirmed hires. So that has been probably the highlight that happened here in the last couple of weeks. So I really had to sit there and really think about that milestone and think, oh my goodness, I've helped 750 people. That is incredible. And to the point that I Googled, like, what does a stadium of 750 people look like? And just had to do something to visualize it because it's so hard to picture the impact that you have in the work you do until you really get to see it and hear from your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. That is just amazing. That number is wow. Congratulations, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about what life looked like when you met your husband and then when you married him and joined into this crazy military life?
Definitely. So we met through a mutual friend in 2012. I was in school in Michigan. He was at the Air Force Academy in Colorado. I had no idea what his life looked like. And so I remember asking him questions of, what do you mean you wear a uniform to class every day? What do you mean you aren't able to come home except on breaks and 2 weeks in the summer? It was such a surreal experience learning about all of this. And so I give him credit for really holding my hand through the process and answering the million and one questions that I feel like I asked him every other week. But as we grow and we get older, we learn and figure those things out. A lot of times it was just you won't understand until you experience it. And so I remember we got married in 2015, and not too long after we had our first move. So learning what that looks like when you have movers come into your house and pack all your things in boxes. And yeah, you're going to see them maybe 2 weeks from now, maybe 4 weeks from now. We'll see when we get there. And that is something that you can tell someone about, but it's another to completely experience it firsthand. And so really, it has been, now we've been married for 10 years. It has been such a journey of learning together, but also with the community there to support us. And so we really do lean on our friends, and we lean on folks that have really come before us and give us their advice and their experiences to help us navigate all this, because I feel like we're still learning. There's still so many things that we haven't experienced yet that we really can learn from those who have done it before, and then help those who are coming after us.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. I feel like we're going to be learning for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And now he is currently Space Force. He was
Yes.
Air Force when you met. What did that journey look like for you and your family?
Yeah, it was a really interesting experience. And I think COVID really enhanced the unusual times on top of it. And so he graduated from the academy in 2014. And then he was one of the first to do the Space Force transfer in September of 2020. Now, that was in the middle of COVID. So his transition was very different than what a lot of inter service transfers look like. He filled out paperwork on our couch, and that was his experience, which was very interesting and not what we were expecting. But I will say that for him, his day-to-day job hasn't changed a whole lot. It's just with a different branch. But the positive of that is that the Space Force is such a small community that we see familiar faces all the time. So it's never a goodbye when it comes to moving or PCSing. It's always a see you later. And we've already had repeat friends that we've been able to get in touch with over the years.
As military spouses, we know that we could write a laundry list of the challenges that we face in trying to find employment, right? But I really want to dig in with your specific experience. What challenges have you faced along the way, possibly, in trying to find meaningful employment as a spouse?
For me, it was just finding what I wanted to do next. I thought in my head I was going to have this career all figured out by the time I finished undergrad, and it was just going to be smooth sailing for the rest of my life. And knew I needed to make a career change for personal reasons and just professional growth. And so my biggest challenge was figuring out what's next. I really wanted to find purpose in what my career was going to be. And I wanted it to be a mission I connected with personally. I wanted it to be a job that I enjoyed. I wanted it to just check all of these boxes. I had a list of kind of my must-haves in a job and what that looked like. And I feel so fortunate to have found that. And I love that I get to use my purpose to help others find that meaningful employment that I was able to find.
That is incredible. Over the course of your military spouse journey and through your career, what skills or strengths are you most proud of developing? And how have they shaped the way that you approach your life or especially your career today?
I'll go back a little bit into more of a storytelling piece of how I became a transition specialist. I graduated college, worked in behavioral health. We were at our first duty station out in California and really wanted to find a job that had more of a work-life balance. but I had no idea how to polish up my resume for a career change, what types of jobs I even wanted to target. And I had a friend tell me about Hire Heroes USA. So I registered and went through the whole process and got connected with a transition specialist. She helped me with my resume, helped me really navigate what was next for me. And in that process, something just clicked. And I remember thinking to myself, I love everything about this. I've loved my experience. I think I might want to do this as my next step. And talked with her, really got some guidance, and role opened up. I applied and started as a transition specialist, and that was all the way back in 2019. And so that experience has shaped me in my career. And with a military spouse perspective, I think it's been amazing to help my clients who are military spouses like myself, but also those transitioning service members, those veterans, because there's that understanding between us. We know what that experience is like. We understand that there are so many different types of potential barriers or just things that you have to navigate compared to somebody who isn't military affiliated when it comes to that job search.
When you think about your professional journey, have you found it more challenging to build a career or to sustain one over time? And what factors have influenced you in your unique situation?
Definitely. I have been so fortunate to work for an amazing organization that really does support me in my career journey. My team has seen me through deployments. They were there when I was navigating solo parenting for the first time when my husband was away for 6 months and my son was only 3 months old. And I truly feel like I have found a home in where I work. But I also know that military spouses may not have that, or they're trying to figure out how to find an organization that they can fit into and feel at home with. And so the factors that really stick out to me are the mission. Is that organization following a mission that you feel really connected to? And can they understand the unique skills that you bring into their team? I think a big part of why I truly feel like I have the best job in the world is that I get to help my clients navigate all of that, help them understand what their priorities are. Is it that remote flexibility? Is it the ability to have that job move with them when they do have to move or PCS? Having those hard conversations of what do you want your career journey to look like is so important in the work that I do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such an incredible perspective that you bring. Chelsea, you and I, both as active duty spouses, we know the valuable characteristics that military spouses bring to the workplace: adaptability, resilience. We could go on, right? From your perspective, what do you wish more employers and leaders understood about the unique skills and perspectives of military spouses that we bring to the workplace?
And Olivia, I think you even kind of gave that answer too. The resilience piece, I think, is one of the most underutilized skills that military spouses have. The amount of times that we have to really pivot and figure things out. Oftentimes, we are the village. We look around and we are the only people that can solve that problem. I think as military spouses, we all know Murphy's Law just absolutely loves to pop up. And if you've had an experience like me, where as soon as I dropped my husband off at the airport for his deployment and I came home and the AC was leaking, which actually did happen, you have to figure it out. And I think that really reflects into military spouses in the workforce. We can take a problem and really figure it out. We can do it on our own, of course, but we also have the ability to help each other and work as a team. And so that adaptability and the resilience is a piece I think more employers really can utilize with military spouses.
Absolutely. Has being part of the military community led you to any unexpected opportunities that you might not have foreseen? Maybe partnerships or moments of growth that stand out to you as you reflect upon your journey?
Absolutely. I always say that I would not be doing the job that I am without the military community. Had I never met my husband, had we never gotten married, I would not have found Hire Heroes USA. I would not have found career coaching. I owe my entire career to the military community because without them, I wouldn't have found this job that I am just so incredibly passionate about. And so it's also led me to so many great opportunities. By working in this space, I've been able to talk with folks from the Department of Education and on student veteran initiatives and barriers that they face. And on a personal note, too, having my own goals of 750 confirmed clients finding meaningful employment with my services that I provide with my job. And so everything that I do is because of the military community. And so I feel so grounded in what I do that I can't imagine doing anything else.
I love that. It's been such a joy to hear your story. Before we close, is there anything else, a message, lesson, or perhaps moment that you carry with you from this journey that you'd like to share with others? Perhaps some advice?
There are so many resources available to military spouses. There are so many organizations such as Hire Heroes USA and others that provide free services. Reach out, find that community, build that community. You can go to your base and go to their readiness center. You can go to local resources. There are so many people that are waiting to help you. You just have to navigate that and find that. And another thing too is that military spouse life has so many challenges. I think we both know that there's a lot of unexpected things that pop up and plans change and what we thought was going to happen 6 months ago is not the case anymore. But there is so much growth that happens when you get uncomfortable or get comfortable with being uncomfortable and pushing yourself. And if you want to find employment or you want to go back to school, you absolutely can do that. There's so many resources available to you to make sure that you can make that happen.
Chelsea, it has been such a joy to have you here today. As a friend, as a former colleague of mine, I am so glad to get to highlight your journey as a military spouse in your career, to share what your journey has looked like with the National Military Family Association audience. If you'd like to hear more stories like this or are curious about how NMFA supports military families, you can visit us at militaryfamily.org. I'm Olivia Brinsfield, and we'll see you next time.